I actually like group activity for the same reason, because I have the same problems with exercise. I will start off, and then next thing I know, bam. So that's why I wrote myself some notes so that I could make sure that I went over the fact that we need groups. Like I have a meeting every Sunday. This is at the Frontline Bookstore in Hyde Park here in Chicago. It's 5206 South Harper in Harper's Court, Frontline Bookstore, every Sunday 4 to 6. I like to have weekly meetings because, and if Sunday isn't a good day, people want to create another day, that's okay with me too. We can create a weekday. But in groups, we support each other, hold each other's feet to the fire. I need that type of thing for exercise. I like Tai Chi classes, and I find if I'm left to my own devices, I'll do it sometime. But if I'm in a group, we're getting together regularly, I'll check in, I feel more accountable. So I do think we need that. As a matter of fact, this coming Sunday, and this will probably air before that happens, but you know, we're going to talk about prostate issues, because that's a big problem. But I want to digress back to what you were saying about the brain having this link to this addiction and how they create the foods with high fructose corn syrup. And that's why I tell people, I don't care if you're in Aldi's, Save-A-Lot, Jewel's, if you're in Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. Always, always read the ingredients, because the packaging will say anything. But the ingredients, and educate yourself. Get some documentaries like Food Inc., Food Incorporated. That's a good documentary.
It's a movie they can get from the library.
Or you can watch on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube, library.
It's online.
Yeah, it's online. Forks Over Knives.
Yeah.
These are documents that really educate you, and make it a family thing if you can. Make it a family thing. Make sure everybody watches it so everybody gets educated, because what I found interesting about high fructose corn syrup is it shuts off that signal that your brain naturally has that tells you you're full. So people tend to overeat. And people will say, you know what, I wasn't even hungry. I don't even eat those kind of foods. That's why I don't bring croissants in. Not just because of what I learned about wheat belly, but if I brought it in, I eat them all.
Yeah, no, and it's funny. You really should. You know, I'm over 50, and anybody who's over, I'm sorry, I put my hand in the finger. There you go. And anybody's over 40,
yes,
they really have to watch their weight. You can watch their health. You can clown most people, not all, can clown in their 20s, 20s, and 30s, but over 40, and let me tell y'all, over 50, forget about it. I watched the labels because I was a cookie monster for many years, and I'm not as much. And now I've read eat cookies now, because when I found out cookies have hydrogenated oils.
Yes.
And or corn syrup.
Yes.
People, you got to read the labels. Tell them about that. When you go to the store, read the bread, the cookies, everything. Hydrogenated oils. I was in the store. I used to love Cool Whip. Cool Whip is so good, but it's got hydrogenated oil. You can't eat this stuff. So tell the folks hydrogenated oils and corn syrup, don't eat it.
Well, I want to tell you about hydrogenated oils, because people might not understand it. Your best oils are your liquid oils. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil. There are a lot of good grapeseed oil, walnut oil.
Your cat knocking out the light. Keep going though.
Yes, there are really, really good oils, but think about it. Oils that are solid, they're going to cause this. This is cholesterol. This is bad fat. This is a heart attack and a stroke.
I know. Don't remind me.
And now here's what I do need to remind people of, or either let them know. 70% of all the victims who have heart attacks and strokes die. 70% of the time. So we do need to read the labels, because you addressed a couple things that we need to talk about. Number one, after 50, some people for 40, your metabolism changes.
Oh, tell me, but I can't take the weight off.
Yeah, and remember when we were in our 20s, see, because I'm in my late 50s now, you can eat a cow in that flip.
I eat less than I do now, and I eat better than I do back then. You know what I'm saying? And I can't lose the weight.
You know why? Because the chickens have come home to roost. Our past is caught up with us. So that's why I tell the young people now, I was like, don't believe the hype. you're believing in your head because you look in the mirror and you see yourself. You're at your peak in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah, buddy.
You done peaked out at 20 and 30. That's how it is. But you're believing because you can eat all this stuff and you still look in the mirror. You stand sideways. You look good.
You stood. You stood.
Yeah, and the women look gorgeous.
Yeah.
I've even heard people brag, oh, I eat anything I want. And I eat fried chicken and I drink pop. They want people to think they're down to earth. I'm like, you keep on living. Because all of that garbage that you're eating today is going to catch up with you tomorrow in the form of a stroke. Look, I had to bring this. This is a beautiful young black woman, Monifa Thomas. She's a health reporter for the Sun-Times. And the caption is, "My stroke at age 30." Now, what I found interesting about this is, and I laminated this and keep it and show it to people for two reasons. Number one, I have a niece who was only 34. She had a blood clot in her leg, died, and my niece at 34, she had a blood clot in her leg and died, and she wasn't on any medication. She was overweight. Her diet wasn't good, but she left 5 children ages 2. The baby was 2, the oldest was 17. That's a tragedy. So I had to read this because this girl didn't remind me of my niece. This young girl was slim. She said, I eat very healthy. She said, I literally eat an apple a day. She said, and I do all kinds. I exercise. She said, I love salsa music. So I had to read the article. Come to find out, I was shocked that they admitted the culprit was birth control pills. People don't realize birth control pills, which are used worldwide, especially here in America, they'll get you yours free. But birth control pills cause blood clots. There are a lot of things that can cause the blood clot. Like Mark said, that hydrogenated oil causes blood clots and strokes. See, when I think about blood clots and strokes, I think about Luther Vandross, one of our greatest vocals we'll ever have. How do you replace a voice like Luther and a performer like Luther? I used to brag on Luther, and I still do, how in his late 40s, he changed his diet lifestyle. He started taking up aerobics. He drank a gallon of water a day. He said, and this was him saying on 2020 or prime time, he said, I don't eat bagels. I don't eat croissants anymore. Now, my meaning, the way I took it is he got away from the carbs. He got away from the starchy food. So they asked him, they said, well, how do you eat, Luther? He said, well, breakfast, if I'm not hungry, is fruit. He said, if I am hungry, turkey, sausage, and egg beaters. He said, but lunch and dinner, he said, both, I make sure I have a big, huge salad. I have a lot of lightly steamed vegetables, and I take my George Foreman grill on the road with me. He said, because I'm not eating red meat, I'm only eating chicken, turkey, and fish. And I have to testify that Luther, and this just doesn't happen often, it's rare, Luther looked better at 50 than he did in his 20s. I actually saw film footage of him on Sesame Street singing in his 20s, and he was a good-looking young man, but at 50, Luther was cold-blooded. I remember the video he did, so I was sharing that with people because he said, not only has change in my diet kept the weight off, because that's why they gave him the interview. That's all America cares about is you looking slim. But he said, not only have I kept the weight off, the 100 pounds for 4 years, he said, but I also got rid of diabetes. That's when I jumped up and down. I wanted to run around the block and say, they should take that 20-minute segment off of Primetime 2020, whatever it was, and make it with the American Diabetes Association. But instead, people start calling me up, talking about, yeah, you know what? I cut out carbs. I'm doing what he said do, and I'm feeling better now. I'm functioning better now. I said, you know what? That is good. Luther definitely laid it out. It's about lifestyle changes, diet and lifestyle changes. But I think 2 years later, I think he fell off the wagon, or you know how it is. Sometimes people are under stress, and food is their drug of choice. So people start calling me up talking about, did you hear Luther had a stroke? And he had a major stroke. He was debilitated for a while. And I can remember people didn't know what condition he was in, but we knew it was serious because you didn't see him or hear from him until he was on Oprah. And I think he had a limited thing where he just said hello. 2 years, that was at 52. when he had the stroke, the major stroke. 2 years later, at 54, he died of a heart attack. So people started asking me, see there, you can change your diet and lifestyle, but it's just genetics. And they started making up excuses. I said, look, here's the thing. If Luther had been a friend of mine, I would have said, clean up your past. Because we just got finished talking about how in your youth, you're going to probably eat all kind of things because you can. You can get away with it. But you got to clean up your past. A lot of the people that I have coming in to see me, most of them are 40 and over.
That's right, 40 and over.
Most are 40 and over. They're coming in, the women have fibroid tumors. Or they're having what they call early menopause. I mean, men are having prostate issues. You have people who want to lose weight and change their diet but don't know how. So I tell people, you can't call me up and say, I got this, what do I take? I've seen that go on for over 30 years in health food stores. Over 30 years. I tell people, I'm going to have you fill out a health evaluation form. A health evaluation form tells me your age, your height, your weight, how much water you drink, the type of foods you eat and how often, how your bowels move.
Wait. Can I get this math? Can I do math right now while you talking?
Yes, you can fill it out right now.
Get a pen. All right, keep going. I mean, so you can.
Yes.
Okay. I need to be evaluated.
Yeah, you can fill it out. There's a pen right there.
Where?
There's a pen right there. So my thing is that if you get this kind of information from people, then you are able to really see what all is going on. Because we're so pill oriented that they're calling me up saying, I got XYZ, what pill do I take? And I tell them there are some vitamins, minerals, herbs that could definitely help you. And if you're on medication, make no mistake about it, you can't get off that medication until you give your body what that medication does. Now that medication might be, a blood thinner. That medication might be something that is opening up your arteries for your blood to flow better. Vasodilator, a lot of high blood pressure medications are. Whatever it is, there are herbs that can do exactly that. But they do it in most cases at a slower pace because drugs are designed to save lives. Drugs are for emergencies. I just spent all night the other day in an emergency room with a family member who had some trauma. They fell, and so they were in pain, swollen. So we had to sit there. They did all the tests. Of course, they gave them pain relievers, which is good. So I am by no means against drugs. What I am for is people looking at what is the cause. I just sat in class, because when I go to church, I call it class, Bible study. And I can remember the teacher saying, you always want to look at the root cause of the problem, because if you don't look at the root cause of the problem, you're going to keep repeating it over and over and over again. You're only dealing with symptoms.